This is Commander Zeus. What's going on? Welcome, planet ship Earth. So, I was thinking on this particular segment, I like to talk about stuff, but I'd really like some conversation with like-minded people. And what I wanted to put out there is what my understanding of reality is, based upon a variation of different things. I would like to know what other people feel about it, how they think the interaction is, because I'm not going to really pinpoint interaction other than how I consider my interaction, because honestly I can't speak for anybody else, right? So it was several years ago I came across a video. It's called Your Wish is Your Command. And it showed up on my feed when I was listening to Earl Nightingale's, what was this story about? I listened to that sucker for 30 days straight every morning, and then this video came through, Your Wish is Your Command, which gave me a substance of reality that I'd never seen before. The orator of it is Kevin Trudeau of the Global Peace Project. He started that and a few other billion-dollar organizations, and a few stuff happening. He's written a few books and whatever. But so what I've actually put into my thought process, and that's what I want to talk about, is after this, the effects of those things have brought me into a conclusion. And a conclusion is a not knowing state, because I'm just running off what other people say, i.e. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is the stem cell scientist who discovered or was actually on what we call the genome effect that we, United States government, had put together on the substance of a human being down to the microscopic level. So down to the microscopic level, it seems as though we're a construct of about 50, 60 trillion cells that are made of 7.5 billion atoms to the power of 10. Now, through the Biology of Belief, which is a video series on epigenetics, Dr. Bruce Lipton, which you could go to. This is kind of like the stuff that I've listened to in order to come to this formulation. And I'm very interested how a like-minded individual or a individual with a thinking mind is going to address question-wise and actually add to possible understanding, so every cell in my body is made of 7.5 billion atoms to the power of 10, and I have 50, 60 trillion cells. Billy Carson, he's pretty outspoken about the atom itself, as it's the generating substance of everything that is. It is an electrical frequency, and this electrical frequency that does not have a solid in the middle of it, it's just straight out energy. And energy cannot be seen, but yet we see it because we're made of it, because it's vibrating at a certain rate of speed, which is what the universe dictates as the second law, which is the law of vibration. And the first law is all is one. Okay? So, and the third law of the universe is action, and action is energy and motion. So it's putting forth the atoms and moving them in the direction you want. It's kind of like shoveling snow, I suppose. But regardless. So we're going back to Einstein and Edison. They said thoughts are things. And so when I think a thing, I'm thinking something, and it becomes real, at least inside my imagination, which, based upon quantum physics and epigenetics and stuff like that, apparently every thought that I think creates a variation in a dimension that maybe I'm not quite aware even existed at the time, because the mankind, they say that there's over 66,000 different dimensions that you can actually that is provable, and then 11 different frequency energy dimensions that are totally provable. And so with that being the case there, the making of a thought dimension is called the holosphere, and the holosphere, all it requires from you is subjective belief, meaning that you believe that you can walk this sucker through, and then you can actually get off a pathway that you were walking before and move down this new direction. And what does it look like in the future, right? So first law of the universe is, who do you listen to? It's more of not a law, it's just more of a suggestion or a concept, is who do you listen to? Anybody that has what you want, has been where you've been, because they can show you how to get where they're at. They know how they got there, and if they've been exactly where you've been, they know exactly what you need to do, right? And that's a pathway for enlightenment. Anyway, so they say that the human body, since it's a construct of about 50, 60 trillion cells, and that's made up of all those atoms, it puts off about 700 trillion volts of electricity, which is from the documentary of sorts, which is called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, study on epigenetics. And he goes through the variations and the chapters and that. It's a 700-page book. So you're putting off 700 trillion volts of electricity that's interacting with the field, and through Billy Carson I've seen that it's a magnetic field. So we're sending out a magnetic pulse, which is interesting because now future and past are but imaginated states that are harnessed within the now frequency, because at some point in time it was a now, and that past and present doesn't truly, our past and future don't truly exist but in the imagination only, and the imagination is the God particle that we create with. And so if we're thinking about the past, we're creating more past events for future experience to somehow work our way out of the point of putting attention to it. But the more you put your attention to it, the more it happens, and the more it happens, the more proof you've got that it happened. You know, that's an interesting thing, because all is an atomic nature that's formulating from a state of becoming that which the observer believes it should be. And if it's observation that now creates the atomic mass to fall into a structured being, what am I thinking about if I'm not getting exactly what I want? And what am I thinking about if my world is full of violence and all that stuff there? Am I putting forth violent actions? And we've been trained to do so, and please, I understand, you know, all is fair in love and war. True? Is that true? That I heard that. And then they said, you know, when you're competing, you got to do what it takes to win. Whatever it takes. And then they installed a neurological program, the 10 Commandments, to lie. So you got to do whatever it takes in order to get ahead. So now I've got this neurological program that was installed inside me to lie, steal, you know, commit adultery, and do whatever, climb up that ugly scale. These are programs that have been installed into the subconscious brain. And once you realize that it was a program that was installed, you can dismantle it pretty quick just by saying cancel, cancel, and then focusing on what you want, which is the fruit of the Spirit, from my understanding. So, I know there was a lot of stuff there that I kind of like puked out. But the whole idea was, okay, so I'm in the center of this burn that's going on. That's my impact into the now frequency that's around me. What by habit of thought can I not change? I can change everything. And I've seen it happen. I've experienced it. I experienced the joy. I mean, and sometimes, you know, you got to have a really tragic event show up for you to really mean what you want. That's funny. And then that tragedy now is a spur or a spawn to a mystery, a a mystical event that just blows your mind and changes your world. And I've had that happen. And it's amazing, you know, the joy, the love. And then when I understood that if indeed all is one, and this is what I really truly believe, and I'm getting deeper and deeper into it, if everything is truly just one energy source, one being, and that is God, which is God is love, and if it's all love, and I treat it not like love, and I start adding all that speculative stuff inside it, then it becomes the speculative stuff that I put into it because I was thinking about that, and I created it. So now if I just look at everything as it's God interacting with me, it seems to change right before me, and I feel so good. I feel so good that God is all around me and showing me the very best. It's absolutely amazing. You know, trees, the grass, you know, it's all beautiful. Anyway, pleasure to talk. And I would love to hear other people's opinions, just using the basics. That's the basics. That's the scratch of the scratch. I don't want to roll people's eyes in the back of their head because it goes so deep. I'd like to hear other people's opinions on it, and that would bless me. And I thank you for any donations to the Global Peace Project. Remember, our Cash App is # Global Peace Project. Appreciate you. Remember, redox molecule, the redox molecule, it is at a microscopic level that connects the thought process and the energies of the body moving, helps you become younger. Anyway, really appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.